welcome back to another episode of Expertly Unqualified.
Here for another week of our uneducated opinions.
Yep, just another roller coaster. I hope you're ready to jump in. You know, I was thinking before we jump into the main topic today, which is a super fun topic, I thought we'd start off with a new segment I like to call Weekly Stats You Didn't Need to Know. But I think you do need to know. Okay, so one stat of the week, I have a couple of trips I'm going on this summer, right? I'm getting excited for them. Obviously, when you look in your closet, you have nothing to wear. So a girl wants to go shopping. Number of sundresses I tried on, 6. Amount of sundresses that actually made sense, 0. There is always something wrong when it comes to a sundress, right? It's either way too short. Okay, I'm a tall girly, alright? It's either way too short, has the most random-ass pattern you have ever seen, and it's the most hideous thing ever. They never have your size, which is just hurtful, especially when you find the perfect dress. Usually the perfect dress consists of a dress that is either you love the dress so much, but the one thing that's wrong with it, it's got weird straps and you can't wear a regular bra with it. Okay? Do you know how frustrating that is, man? You're trying to find something cute, something casual. You don't want to spend a lot of money. And then you just go home sad because there's nothing out there. So if anybody has a recommendation for a cute, casual, sundress, summertime stuff, let us know. Because I'm on the struggle bus. I'm all for 6. Holly, what about your stats of the week?
Weekly stats. I recently had finals, so I'll go with the amount of coffee I should have had last week. I think the maximum is, 4 cups of coffee a day?
Yeah, about that, normal sized cups of coffee.
But honestly, daily cups of coffee I did have, probably closer to 8.
Okay, so you're very energized, but you know what? You got through the week.
Yeah, I survived.
I helped you survive. I would like to say a runner-up for stats of the week. Actually, this should be the top stat of the week, okay? I don't know about you, but when I do laundry, it is a whole day fiasco, okay? I might have the greatest intent of washing and drying all my clothes on a certain day. I'm going to get it done. The amount of times I forget it's in the washer, or I finally move it over to the dryer, forget it in the dryer, or maybe I'm really good one day and I put it in the washer and then in the dryer, and then I take it out because you don't want it to get wrinkled, okay? And then just leave it there for a week. Or in a laundry basket or something. So I'm proud to say that I completed 3 loads of laundry in one night and put it all away. And I only took up space in the family room with all my clothes laid out for a few hours.
Hey, that's a major accomplishment.
That's a win on my book.
Meanwhile, I'm still trying to explain to my fiance why I've been rewashing the same load of clothes 4 times in a row with laundry sanitizer, just because I forgot to dry them and to get rid of the smell.
I think your clothes are just extra dirty. That's just what you gotta tell them.
Oh yeah,
they're super dirty.
No, I just do this to all loads of clothes.
Actually, it's just part of the washer. You just have never noticed. That's why we bought the washer. Oh my gosh. Okay, so catch our weekly stats every week. Starting off strong, You're going 8 cups instead of 4 cups of coffee.
Oh,
we got 3 loads of laundry. I'm 3-0 in laundry this week. I'm 0 for 6 in sundresses. So we got some improvements to make.
Yes, but this only gives us room to grow.
Right? And that's what we're trying to do here on Expertly Unqualified. Grow in some sort of way.
Only up from here.
Hopefully. All right. Well, if you were listening to us today on June 15th and you forgot it's Father's Day, listen up while you go shop for your dad, okay? We're super excited to have a Father's Day episode, and I don't think anything could prepare you for this episode. So shall we dive in?
Oh yes, I'm ready for your best dad jokes.
Oh, did you want to start with dad jokes, or do you want to end with dad jokes?
Let's end with dad jokes.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Actually, let's do one to get a little teaser.
Oh yes.
Okay, I gave my dad a task of giving us his 10 funniest jokes. If you know my dad, he loves a new audience. When he was sending me these, he was sitting at the computer laughing to himself. Okay? Like sitting there chuckling to himself. So, hopefully these will be good. And we'll get into that more, but let's see. How did I know my wife thought I was invading her privacy?
How?
She wrote it in her diary. I need to highlight this one so I don't repeat it. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, so this list, okay, I have not read it. I'm reading it to Holly. These are our live reactions. So, Ted, you did good. You got the first slab.
So, do you think that in 40 years, the joke will be, how do I know if I'm invading my wife's privacy? I read it in her notes app.
Yeah, I was going to say notes app, or I saw it on her story.
I saw it on her story.
That's probably going to be more accurate.
On her private story.
Oh my gosh. Well, all jokes put aside, we want to say Happy Father's Day to everybody out there.
Happy Father's Day.
And we want just to dive into the unqualified father's guide, right? Okay, so I don't know. I feel like dads always have good intentions when they're doing stuff, but it never turns out quite right. Or maybe it's not the exact way I would do something or the way my mom would do something. But you know what? They try really hard. I feel like dads have a special way of giving advice, you know? Sometimes it's stuff that you've asked for. Sometimes they're just really good at picking up when you're having an off day or something.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes you didn't ask for it and you don't want to hear it.
Personally, my dad's really good at giving advice, but also sprinkling in the most unexpected jokes and comments to cheer me up in the middle of it.
I mean, that's the dad's way, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now we're going to talk about dad logic. Because I feel like that's a big part of dads, right?
Oh, yes.
I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of wired almost like my mom. Like we think the same way sometimes, and maybe that's why we butt heads a little bit. But dads just have a different way of thinking. They're trying to keep the peace. They're trying to understand both perspectives, right? Mom and I might have an argument about something. He's in the middle trying to figure it out. These are some of the signature dad phrases my dad has. And I want to know if anybody else's dad does this. When you ask him what we should have for dinner, if we don't know what we're having for dinner, his common response would be shrimp, steak, sushi, or pizza. That's if you ask him on any day and everybody's hungry, what are we having? That's his response.
Hey, at least you know what his favorite foods are.
That's true. That is very true. Yes. My dad loves to run out to the store and get some candy, right? Skittles. Oh my god, he loves Skittles, M&Ms, anything bite-sized. Spree, chewy Spree. He will organize them by color. Okay, so he grabs a handful of Skittles and he sits down at the table and he organizes them by color. So then he'll eat M&Ms or Skittles or whatever so that they all line up. So say he had 3 red Skittles, 5 purple, and 4 green. He would eat the purple and the green first so they would all line up with the red. So then red, green, and purple would all have the same amount. And then he would eat it.
So then would he have to eat one of each flavor going on?
See, I don't know. I don't want to stare at him while he's eating.
Does he go in rainbow order?
That's a good question. I don't know. He organizes them, I think, rainbow order.
Because there's definitely I think there's a lot of logic in this.
I think so. And then his most common phrase is, "This candy's just so fresh." I love hearing it. Okay, Holly, does your dad do this too? Not knowing what anything's called, so everything he calls a muffin. So it could literally be a biscuit.
Oh, yeah.
It could be a piece of bread. It could be a scone. And he's like, take part of that muffin.
Yes, no, he definitely does. He'll just go with like the closest and fastest alternative to the word. I will say it's efficient.
Right. And even though it is very efficient, even though he's not saying the correct word, you still understand what he's saying. So I guess maybe that's a move. Just call everything a muffin.
See, it's just only a problem once you go out to eat.
Right. You gotta be specific when you're eating, but when you're at home, you're fine.
Oh yes, everyone will know what you want.
Okay. So he has a hard time remembering the word skort. So for those of you who don't know what a skort is, it's a skirt with shorts built in underneath. He calls them a squirt. He's like, "Oh, is that a squirt?" No, it's a squirt. My favorite is, the Starbucks refreshers, right? If you haven't watched our previous episodes, go catch those where we discuss your coffee order, worst customers. He can't remember the word refresher, okay? He calls it, I'll take one of those sparklers. Again, not the correct word, but you understand what he's trying to say.
Oh, yes.
So maybe we should take note from this.
Oh, yes.
Take note. You don't need to have the correct word. You just need to say something.
You just have to focus on what's really important in life.
Don't ask dads to name your friends' names, okay? They're not going to remember them. They might remember random facts. Oh, is that your friend who lives here? Oh, is that your friend who you played 12U travel softball with and she pitched and her parents were a pain in the ass?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he might remember that.
Can he remember your score from a softball game 10 years ago?
Yes, he can give me such specific details. He can say, we were playing on this field, and it was made of this, and it was approximately 2:37 p.m. in the afternoon. It was April 4th. There was a slight northwest breeze of 25 miles an hour. That would be actually really windy. A slight northwest breeze of 10 miles an hour. You were up to bat, the sun was setting and in your eyes, but you still were able to get to a 3-1 count and then battle it off, and then got to a full count, and then they almost hit you, but you stood in strong, you fouled off, the umpire made a terrible call in the field, and you walked. And then your team won the whole tournament. And your batting average at that time was .471.
And who was the name of your pitcher?
Oh my god, he would remember. He would. And then one of my favorites is, when's the last time you checked the oil in your car?
My dad, despite all of his dadisms and dad jokes, he will always remind me of what is really important and what responsibilities I have and to help me out with them. Like oil changes and such.
Right, yeah. I lucked out. My dad grew up working on cars, so he knows a lot about cars. Downside, he knows a lot about cars, and sometimes, maybe once or twice, I maybe have almost blown up for not checking the oil or not paying attention to certain things. So, with that being said, okay, I'm gonna give you a life hack right now, okay? Here's the life hack, okay? It's gonna blow your mind. I'm going to save you $200 right now. I feel like I'm on one of those TV commercials. If you call right now, I will save you $200. You need to check the oil in your car. All right. I have an older car, new to me, but older. So it loves to chug oil. I don't know why. There's nothing wrong with it. We've had it checked out. But it basically needs its oil. Okay? Oil makes sure everything in the car runs smoothly. And if you have low oil or no oil, your engine is going to overheat and explode. Okay? So think of it like this. Think of oil as your morning cup of coffee, okay? If you decide never to drink your coffee and then you're asked to complete a really hard task, you're going to get so frustrated, blow up. You're going to be like, I'm over this. Where's my coffee? You need to give your oil its coffee. You need to give your car its coffee. Give it oil. It's not that expensive for oil, and you'd rather pay the $20 for 5 quarts or whatever. You'd rather pay that than for a brand new car. Additionally, I might have to make a video. I should make a video of this, of how to check your oil.
Oh, yeah.
When you go to check it, right, there's a place where you put the oil in, and there's a little cap there. If you spill the oil all over, it doesn't clean up very nicely. I'm speaking for a friend. And then if you don't tighten that cap all the way, then there's going to be extra air that comes into your engine, and then your car starts acting funky, and when your foot's not even on the gas pedal, it's going to start revving.
Ooh, that's scary.
It was very weird. My friend told me it was very weird. Okay, so take care of your car, check your oil. If your dad asks you, have you checked your oil, don't roll your eyes like I've done too many times. okay?
Yes. So my dad works in the automobile industry. So he grew up teaching me a lot about cars, and I will say it has made me nothing but overconfident in my abilities. So
Like, I can fix it.
I can do it myself. I have a Honda Accord, which are very, very reliable cars. I thought that meant I didn't have to pay attention to maintenance. No.
That's where it gets you, right? No one teaches you these things. You
Yeah.
have to fork over so much money for a car that works nicely, and then you don't want to pay for anything. You already have to pay for gas, and you're like, I'm good. I just need it to get me from point A to point B. And then it's like, psych, here's all this money you owe.
So I have a great story, but for another day, about procrastinating getting an oil change. But yes, I thought that since I had a reliable car, that meant I didn't have to get oil changes. No, I was wrong. I ran out of oil.
Yeah, you need oil. That's another thing. So you could check your oil and replace it, but every once in a while you want to actually go get it changed.
Oh yes.
Because it gets dirty and stuff. That's my TED Talk on why you should check your oil. I literally put a reminder on my phone in all caps. It says, hello, go check the oil in your car, otherwise it's going to explode. Hopefully that will get my attention more. Oh my gosh.
It's just like how I set my wake up alarms when I open at work to wake up now or you will die.
Oh my gosh. So we go to extremes, okay? We can't do it normally, so we have to do it on the extreme end.
Does it work? Does it work? Yes.
Will we get it done? Hopefully.
The more drama, the better.
Yes. So they have their unique ways of doing things, right? They're always trying to keep the peace. Does your dad ever say stuff like, it'll heal before you're married?
Yeah.
How about, what is it? When you want to get married, wait 10 more years and then get married? Or something stupid like that. But yeah, I'm trying to think.
Some of my favorite of his dadisms he'll like to repeat is, when I go get donuts, then you'll punch my arm and say, hurts donut?
Some days, that'll get you and you're like, laugh. And most days you're like, shut up.
Not again.
See, how did you put it earlier about when they have a new audience, new victims?
Oh yes, a new victim. So a while ago I was over at Caroline's house having dinner with her family, and I had never heard any of her dad's jokes before. I was laughing, and he was having the most wonderful time.
He always has the best time. If you know my dad, he's got a stack of jokes that he thinks are so funny. 95% of the time, they are not funny. And then he'll keep telling them. And then if I'm in the same room as somebody new coming in, he repeats them again. So then it just gets more boring. But there are a couple zingers. We did get him a joke book one year for Father's Day. Has he ever read it? No. Actually, I think he did read it, and he said that the jokes were lame. But there really can't be more lame than his jokes. I'm kidding. Your jokes are pretty good most of the time. Speaking of gifts, okay, can we talk about the difference between Mother's Day gifts and Father's Day gifts?
Oh yes, oh less.
I feel like everyone in my family is so hard to shop for, okay? They don't know. They just don't want things, or they want random things, or they don't give you the list until 3 days before you have to get them. I don't know. Mother's Day, you can check some boxes. You can do, homemade brunch. You could do, here's some flowers. Go get a mani-pedi. I don't know, here's a nice homemade card. I bought you some flowers for outside. Relax. Dads, I literally have no idea what to get them. Here's a screwdriver.
Yeah, because, there's not really any good traditional gifts for Father's Day. Because I was looking for gifts for my dad for Father's Day, and I was like, this is a weed remover that uses a propane tank to burn weeds. DIY blowtorch.
There we go.
Flamethrower.
Dads probably love that.
But Mother's Day, it's just flowers. Here's a salon.
Yeah.
Massage.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
Dad, it's like, well, here's a grilling tool. Or, you know what? We forgot, but here's a card.
Here's some gift cards.
I don't even know about that.
Also, the differences of where you take your parents on Mother's Day and Father's Day is so different. Because at Starbucks on Mother's Day, it's one of the busiest days of the year, every year.
Oh, I keep forgetting about that.
So where do the Father's Day? Or like, where does everyone go on Father's Day?
They stay home and make Dad cook.
They make Dad cook?
That's what ends up happening. It'll be like, yeah, let's grill something. Okay, you can grill.
I would have to check out Topgolf.
Okay.
Topgolf or the steak section in Costco. The steak, like every time, like right before Father's Day, it's always so packed.
That's so smart. So smart. Holly is dishing out tips and tricks.
And hey, so Costco does have some really good deals on steak too.
We got their steak one time. It was actually really good.
Oh yeah, no, I did too.
And then if you think about it, if you went to a restaurant, it's probably like $60 a plate.
Because one time for my dad's birthday or Father's Day, I got him a pack of steaks. I think it was for last year on Father's Day, I got Costco steaks and brought over food. And I was gonna cook for him, but no, he was having so much fun grilling.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a dad thing.
Yeah.
You like start doing something like, nah.
He's like,
I got it.
No. Like
I got it.
Half of the fun was him being able to cook those fancy steaks.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just, I don't know. They find joys in little things. Okay.
Oh yeah.
My parents, they might do a date night every once in a while. Their date nights are going to Menards. Going to Ace Hardware. Getting stuff done off the to-do list, right? Yeah, they'll go out to a restaurant, have a nice dinner, or whatever. Most of the time, it's like, yeah, we went to Menards. We picked up all these things. Look how nice our yard is. They'll do nature walks.
That's so cute, though.
You just look outside. They're outside with their glasses of wine, and they're just walking around the yard. It's nice.
But yeah, with my fiance, if he's not in the mood to go to the grocery store with me, I'll take him to Menards instead. Because they have like a grocery section.
Menards has so much food.
Yeah. And then he gets to look at screwdrivers and drills on the way out.
Right, there you go. That's something you get. Dad, golf balls. I don't even know, just golf stuff. But speaking of grocery stores, right? Dads will, at least my dad, is really nice, and he'll make sure, like, hey, do you need anything from the store? And you're like, yeah, here's a list. He either will forget the list, forget something on the list, or you tell him to buy something specific, and he'll come home with something different, but he thought that's what you wanted. And so you gotta be like, thank you so much. At the same time, you're like, oh my gosh, I asked for this and not that, but I appreciate what you do.
My dad, he's good at grocery shopping, but he views it as prepping for a hypothetical apocalypse, which the pandemic unfortunately validated that.
Oh gosh. So it's like buy 6 of everything?
Oh yes, this was on sale. I got 6 of them. I hope you like them.
And you like a can of green beans. I don't even like green beans.
Well, I got every flavor of ramen for you.
Okay, I'll take some ramen. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. They just have a more simple way of life, I feel like.
Oh yes.
I don't know how to describe it, and man, maybe they have a more complex way of life, but they just don't show it. It's just like, I work hard, keep my family happy, keep my wife happy, get things done, and relax. That's basically it.
It's like the older version of Saturdays are for the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saturdays are for the boys, I think.
Yeah.
You know what? That's great. So let's go into, I don't even know what to call this segment, but let's see. Things my dad does. Does your dad do it too? Okay. Or we should call it, is it just my dad or is it also yours? Why do dads love Dua Lipa so much? Anytime Dua Lipa comes on, my dad's jamming out. It's like, yes, great song. That also happens with other people. I won't share who that is, but some of you knows who I'm talking about. Why do they love Dua Lipa so much?
I don't have an answer for it.
She's got good songs. I like her, don't get me wrong, but I swear it's Dua Lipa every time. Is this Dua Lipa? You're like, yeah. Okay, how about this? You walk into a room, you're sitting at the kitchen table working on something. The sun's setting, you don't have the light on. Dad comes into the room, automatically turns on the light. Oh, it looks like you could use some light. No. Maybe sometimes I just want to sit in the dark. I wonder Either they never sat in the dark and enjoyed that experience, or they were always in the dark and wish they had light.
Every time I leave my dad's house, he will turn on every outdoor light possible to make sure I get to my car without being kidnapped, murdered,
Oh my gosh.
anything else.
Because the 10 feet to your car so far.
Oh yes, and he'll make sure I get into my car and wait until he hears the lock of my door.
Oh my gosh. That's sweet, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I think I know how to walk to my car. One of my dad's favorite. Well, this was a catchphrase my dad said. I don't know if I can call it a catchphrase, but it's one of those moments that's ingrained in my brain. So, Dad, I hope you remember when you were making tacos one time and you went to put in taco seasoning and you put in 6 tablespoons of taco seasoning instead of 6 teaspoons, and your response was, I didn't go to Betty Crocker school. That's ingrained in my brain. It's the best comebacks, let me tell you.
I do something wrong. I'm gonna say that now.
I didn't go to Betty Crocker school.
The next time I make a mistake at work,
I didn't get a PhD in drink making.
I didn't go to Betty Crocker school.
Alright, now is the time we've all been waiting for. Dad jokes. Okay? I feel like a good dad joke, one, it has to be delivered so well.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not delivered well, nah, we don't want it. 2, it's gotta be funny. Or at least, like, make your eyes roll, okay? You gotta have some sort of reaction to it. And 3, it's gotta make sense when you read it, okay? Because sometimes, or when you say it, but also read it. Sometimes when you tell a joke and it doesn't make any sense and it takes you a minute to figure out what the punchline was, it's not a good joke. Okay, so let's see what Ted said today. Okay, a polar bear walks into a bar and he says, hey bartender, I'll have a rum and Coke. And the bartender goes, what's with the pause? And the polar bear goes, oh, I was born with them.
It's good because I thought it was going to be how much does a polar bear weigh?
I don't know, how much does a polar bear weigh?
Enough to break the ice. So that's a classic, but no,
No, this is like a twist.
Yeah, no, that would have me hanging on for the...
I know. Okay, I gave my handyman a to-do list, but he only did jobs 1, 3, and 5. Turns out he only does odd jobs. I've heard that one before, so
that was a good one.
I was going to tell a joke about the layoffs, but sadly none of them work.
About the
layoffs, because none of them work.
The layoffs?
Yeah.
No! Oh no! It's so morbid.
No, speaking of morbid, I'm sorry and I apologize usually mean the same thing, but not at a funeral. Why did the coffee taste like dirt? Because it was ground just a few minutes ago.
Ground.
See, like that one's just dumb. He told me this one today and I actually laughed at this one. The other day, I was attacked by a bunch of circus clowns in the parking lot. I won though, because I went right for the juggler.
There's some unique ones.
I know, he probably was just sitting there typing away. Alright, we got 3 more, okay? I was walking down the beach when I heard a swimmer yelling for help with a shark circling him. I just laughed. I knew that the shark wasn't going to help him. It's a little extreme. A man walked into a bar with a parrot on his shoulder. The bartender said, does this animal talk? And the parrot replied, I don't know. What did the coffee report to the police?
What?
A mugging.
A mugging?
Okay, and my favorite. This is my absolute favorite.
Give some drum rolls.
I gotta prepare for the delivery of this because it's gotta be good. A guy walks into an empty bar and he sits down and he looks at the bartender. He's kind of looking around and all of a sudden he hears, nice time. And so he looks up at the bartender and he said, hey, thanks. And the bartender goes, what? I didn't say anything. Oh, it's the peanuts. They're complimentary.
Oh, that's a good one.
That one's my favorite one.
That one's a good one. I think you've told me that one before, so.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one.
So I think we're all good with the dad jokes. I think we had some successful ones, so Ted, A+ job. And now, just like every week, we should dive into our unqualified rant and advice.
So, going back to
A muffin.
a muffin.
Okay.
Why are English muffins and bagels never cut all the way? We have the technology to slice Wonder Bread so thin. How do you slice it? Why can't we cut our bagels in half?
Who's gonna sit there and eat a full English muffin? How are you supposed to toast it? It's gonna be too thick, you can't even put it in the toaster. Even if you don't want to toast it, just who's gonna eat? Just take a giant bite out of it?
And like with the bagels, there's been rare occasions where I've just been really tired, really depressed, and I've just, toasted a bagel whole, uncut.
You've done that before?
And I just remember eating it, thinking,
That's
why
not
did
good.
I do this to myself? Why didn't I just slice my own
It
bagel?
probably made you more sad.
It did. It made me more sad to think that I couldn't have just sliced my own bagel.
The worst was when we would have them for like softball tournaments or something.
Oh, yeah.
So you're trying to eat on the bus, okay? There's 20 other people who are also trying to get a bagel. They're not cut.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, what am I supposed to do with cream cheese?
Uh-huh.
So then you just have to slap it on top.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You just pray that you put enough ratio of cream cheese to bagel
Yeah.
on the uncut bagel.
Uh-huh. And if you don't have a butter knife, you just have to tear off pieces and dip it into the cream cheese.
Oh, or the other thing I've seen
Yeah.
is an English muffin specifically. My dad will complain about these. When you go to try and rip them open, because they try to get you. They're like a quarter of the way open. You got to use a fork and poke it all the way around, and then it'll come apart, and then you can toast it.
The English muffins, they make so many crumbs when you cut them yourself.
They really do.
Uh-huh.
They really do.
Yeah.
So what's up with that?
Yeah. Why?
Why?
Anyway.
That brings us to our unqualified advice. Got some good advice. If you're listening to us right now on Sunday, June 15th, go to the store, go get your dad something nice. Maybe he likes Skittles and organizing them so he can taste the rainbow. Maybe he needs a bottle of beer. Maybe not one, maybe a case of beer. Maybe he needs a new tool or toolkit or toolbox.
Or maybe he needs a new wallet.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Wallet, watch, belt, hat.
Dads love wearing items until they're falling apart.
That is so
Yes.
true.
So
true. So go in his closet.
Yes.
Figure out what is torn up, what has holes in it, and go buy a replacement.
And then find exactly the same one as before.
Yes. And then out-dad his dad jokes by repeating the best dad joke from this episode.
And some of our best advice for this episode is get regular oil changes.
There we go.
They put those stickers in your cars. Just listen to them.
I don't know where the sticker went in my car. So we'll come back to that. We'll see if my car is fine.
Yes, let's circle back.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. We love you.
Happy Father's Day. We love all of you.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
All right, that's a wrap on our episode of Expertly Unqualified. If you stuck around this long,
you're either extremely loyal, extremely bored, or extremely caffeinated. Either way, we love that for you.
Make sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts and leave a review if you laughed, related, or were personally attacked by something we said. Find new episodes and more on our website, thepodmates.com.
And don't forget, follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Expertly Unqualified. Send us your stories, questions, or weird hot takes. You might just hear them on a future episode.
We are, as always,
Expertly Unqualified. Conversation's so fun, you'll forget we have no idea what we're doing.
This was a Podmates production.